right, so on the fly now, we are going to start taking them as they come on the Facebook page, and we're going to do it in ranked order. So here we go. Looks like Victor. I'm going to go with Cuck on this. It's K-U-K, and just only hesitated there simply because of that, that that word that alt-right loves to throw around is just really, really, really disgusting to me. I just hate it. In any event, this is not him. So here's what he wrote. He said, singer Joy, is it Villa? I know who she is. I didn't know who she was until a day ago. Recently wore a Donald Trump-themed dress to the Grammys, and subsequently sales of her album increased 54 million%, raising her to the top. Will this help push the message that conservatism is acceptable to Hollywood? I don't know if Joy. By the way, she was wearing this enormous sequin dress, and it says "Make America Great Again," I think, and then the entire train just said Trump. And needless to say, she's been vilified by the left for this, just absolutely vilified. And I hope she's making a statement of genuine principles. But let's just think about, because you asked an economic question. Let's just look at what happened. She was completely, essentially, by me anyway, and by most people, I keep my ear relatively close to the ground. She went from being unknown to having half of the country like her. It's not the half that the other singers are liked by, but it's half of the country, and sales just skyrocketed. You're welcome, Bob. So it was a brilliant move career-wise, and I think to answer your question, Victor, will the fact that being saying you're a supporter of Donald Trump, will that increase your box office? And the answer, I think, is it depends on where your box office is right now. If you are already successful and even famous, or if you would like to be by the traditional channels, then coming out in favor of Trump like that is a suicidal move at this moment in time. It's suicidal. Your career's finished. The only people that can do this and survive are forces of nature, like Clint Eastwood, for example, or John Voight. They are such monumental talents, and frankly, most of their work behind them, they can afford to do these kind of things, and they just simply shrug off the consequences. But if you're a young actor, or even mid-level actor, somebody who appears in movies every now and then, and you believe this and you say it, you're a conservative or whatever, you're in favor of Donald Trump, and you say it, your career's over, it's done. And I've seen this from the inside for many, many years. So I would say for most people, Victor, and the answer is coming out as a conservative or using a conservative message is career suicide. And yet there is in fact, sweetheart, somebody, the guy who took me down to Florida and gave me my Air Force Squadron name just wrote something to you in Cyrillic, and I just have no idea what it is, which you can monitor from over there. It's like, oh, where to go? I just had to stop there. I don't see Cyrillic that often. Where'd it go? It's our friend Viper Check, Foghorn, and hey, there she is, everybody. Say hi. There, right there. What's that say?
Я друг вашего жениха Майкла. I am a friend of yours, fiancé.
Is that what? Oh, what a sweet thing to say. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
We're fans of yours too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Foghorn, my boy. That was the second big nice thing you've done for me. Gave me really probably the best day I ever had in terms of manly pursuits, and that was very, very sweet. So here, back to your question for you here, Victor. What she did, if it's a business move and it's calculated, then it's genius. If you have decided, and I kind of made this decision, 12 years ago, something like this. I was working as an editor in Hollywood, and I was working as like all other editors. I was a freelancer, and just here's a gig. You're going to edit a show for the Discovery Channel. You're going to be working for 6 weeks, and here's another gig, and this one's lucky you got 3 years out of it or whatever. If you want to do that kind of work, which is the enormous bulk of work available out here in Los Angeles, then that's suicide. And just as I was leaving editing and getting into punditry, I was already starting to feel a little bit of that backlash. But if you're a nobody and you realize, and I don't mean to call her a nobody, but let's just speak about it in that fashion. If you're essentially a nobody and you do something that dramatic, you then become my God, the numbers of people saying hello to you is just astonishing. Nobody listens to my show anymore. I'm telling you, nobody gives a damn about what I say. They're just waiting for you to come in so they can look at you and say hi. You can see how economically it's genius. Oh, where can we see her work? It's photomelnikova.ru, FOTOMELNIKOVA.ru. It's awful good. So it's kind of genius. You went from pretty much obscurity to being beloved by half of the country. That's a brilliant move, And in order for that to work, you have to be the product. In other words, if she was an editor, if she was a composer, if she was, any of the working people in show business, just an actor, regular two-bit actor or something like that, then it's suicide. But since she is her own product, it's genius. Now, as you say, her sales have skyrocketed because she did something so unbelievably different for somebody in Hollywood. They came out in favor of Donald Trump for president, and while that would be suicide for anybody else, if you've got your own record out there, you now have 65 million fans that you didn't have a microsecond before the cameras got turned on. And your sales are going to go through the ceiling, and they will come back for second albums, especially if you put some kind of patriotic thing in there. So yes, it's kind of a trick question, Victor. It is. I think it's a death sentence for anybody trying to make it inside the system here, especially people that can't capitalize on their own work. There's, like, for example, there's a lot of actors out there who could make that kind of thing and get all kinds of Facebook likes, but how do they turn that into money? Because their traditional career is over. She can sell albums, make money that way. So I think it was really cool, and I think it was a very good decision. And whether it was driven by economics or patriotism or both or neither, it was certainly not only a pleasure to see, it was also fun to watch her risk pay off. Okay, moving down here.